series on sharing Google's Sheets, slides, and documents. My disclaimer and copyright notice: the information and opinions in this presentation are those of myself and not my employers or affiliated organizations, including but not limited to Irvine Valley College and the South Orange County Community College District. The presentation is for educational purposes only and does not constitute any legal or accounting advice whatsoever. So what exactly are Google Sheets, slides, and documents? So this is probably one of the best free sharing. It's free right now. If you have an @gmail.com address, slides and documents. Why do I like this so much? As an educator, I can easily share documents. My students in the classroom can see in real time when I'm actually lecturing about what's happening. I've been using it at least since 2018. I think possibly even earlier, right? It's amazing in the classroom, and it's also provides you instant web publishing, and I'll show you how that works basically shortly. Now, one of my professors at Irvine Valley College, who she teaches spreadsheets, she's amazing, Professor Kasoy. Whenever I mention the word Google Sheets, she says, Bennett, it doesn't have it, right? So, Google Sheets may not be the cat's pajamas. By the way, this image is courtesy of Chewy. I always love photos with kittens, kind of like Angela from The Office. But as I go over here, yeah, the cat's pajamas, I'll put the link to this and you can kind of see right over here where I got this from. I'm not sure if my cat would allow me to dress him in this really cool thing, but Google Sheets are not the cat's pajamas, but they do great things. So let's go ahead and kind of look really quickly, like how do we go through and share documents on Google? So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go to Google Sheets. We're going to come over here to our account, right? So this is my IVC30 to CPA at gmail.com account, which I'm using for our new program at Irvine Valley College. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new Google Sheet. I'm going to name it. We're going to say YouTube Video Fun, okay? So I've given my sheet a name. Now, over here, when I want to go through and share this Google Sheet, it's going to give me a couple of different options to go through and share. One of the things I can go through and do, and I'll show you how I have this set up on my website, is I can basically say, if I want to give anybody with the link a couple of different options, I can say, I can basically copy a link. And once I copy that link, it'll take me right over here. So it basically, once I copy that link, it's going to basically take me to the sheet. That's what I was kind of talking about, instant video publishing. When I say that anybody with the link can be a viewer, it can also be a commenter, meaning that they can leave comments, or they can be an editor, meaning that they can actually go through and edit the document. So if you choose to give someone editing control, just remember you're kind of relinquishing your power on that. When I create Google Sheets for my students, for them to either list out the courses they've taken in accounting, or I've given them something that they have to do an assignment, of course, I'm going to be giving them editing privileges. So if I want something that's really general for anyone to go through and to look, that's what I would kind of go through and do. I can either make it restricted, well, I'll show you how that works, or I can make it anybody with the link is either going to be a viewer, commenter, or editor, right? So again, how did I get to this screen? I clicked the share button, and that's where it's going to go through and take me. Now, when I go through over here, we're going to say we're going to basically make this restricted. Let's go here, restricted, okay? What I can now do is I can say, okay, I want to share it with 1812cpa@gmail.com. I'm making this person who I specifically am sharing it to as either a viewer, commenter, or editor. And this will also notify people, meaning that they're going to get an email saying that, hey, click on this link and you're now going to be an editor of the sheet. So if you're looking to create something and share it specifically with people, go ahead and type in their Gmail addresses. It will tell you pretty quickly if it recognizes the email or not. And you just kind of go from there, right? So I see viewer, commenter, editor. I'm choosing the people that I want to share the document with. and then choosing their roles. So let's go back over here. So right over here, people with access, we'll go ahead and do the 1812 CPA, which is a different version of me. And now as I kind of go back over here and I go to share, this has now been updated for their role. Now, note later I can go through and change it. I can also remove their access from the Google Sheet. I can also transfer ownership to them. So they are now the owner of that sheet. Whatever I choose to do, I can go through and do it. So by typing out their individual name, I can basically then go through and change what their access is. Also note over here too, with the basically here, if I put restricted, only these people can go through and see it. Also, I could do with anybody with a link if I want to make it an open document, and I'll show you how that works in a moment. So let's come over here. Now, this is also a really important setting, right? When I'm going through and sharing documents, okay, so over here, I click on the little gearbox at the upper right, and now I'm going to say editors can change permissions and share. So if I make someone an editor, they can go through and change who has permissions of the document. Over here, viewers and commenters can see the option to download, print, and copy. Now, one of the things that I have going on in a lot of my classes is let's see. Let me see if I can find one. Let me do it over here. Sorry, guys. This is what happens when you make stuff up as you go along. Okay. So right over here, I basically took this Google Sheet and I'm basically making it, I did this from one of my classes. And over here, as you can kind of see, like these are like the different, like you see my copyright notice and you see this over here. Now with this, I'm a little bit more sensitive because this is my own created content. So what I did was, is I said over here, I'm the owner of this and anybody with the link can view it, which is fine. But when you look up here, I've unchecked these boxes. Why did I uncheck these boxes? Because I don't want students going through here and downloading my work and then reposting it somewhere else. They could type it out, which I'm totally cool with. But this is how you can kind of go through and control content as an editor. Notice the great thing about Google Sheets, though, is that now I basically have this over here, instant web publishing. I can provide links to other things and everything else. I can go into my Canvas shell. I can basically make a copy of this link. Very, very easy to go through and to do. So let's go through just really quickly. And I just want to show you my faculty website. I just want to make sure I touched on all these things. So we've looked at sharing globally, how to view, edit, and comment, individualized sharing, view, comment, and base view, edit, and comment. And then over here, we've got change permissions to share, and then the whole thing over here with editors, right? And remember, once you share it with somebody specifically, they're going to get an email that basically goes through and says, okay, you've been given permission to go through and to edit the following document. So at Irvine Valley College. And so if I go Irvine Valley College, Bennett Tchaikovsky, I'm going to come over here to my faculty webpage. Now, one of the things about me is that my school, you know, they got a lot of stuff going on. And for me, I'd like to try to keep my information as fresh as possible. So what do? Well, I had them create their home page, like right over here. But notice here, every single, you see all these little links. This over here, these are my office hours, right? So for this fall 2023, haven't figured it out yet, but when I do, this is how I'm going to go through and do it. Notice over here, I've basically set the sharing settings to anybody with a link can be the viewer. Over here, they cannot download it, but that's what I have over here. So this is how I'm kind of going through and doing basically web publishing through Google Sheets, Google Docs, Google Slides. Now, there might be also some times where I want students to be able to download certain things. For example, sample resume right over here. You can basically download the sample resume. This is really geared towards accounting. When I go to sharing, I'm going to basically here, these are two of my former students. They just have viewing access. But what you're going to notice is I've checked this box, right? So viewers and commenters can see the option of download, print, and copy. So they have like basically that ability to do that basically with the sheet. So why did I do it this way? If I'm making a document available to a bunch of people where I want them to have the ability to go through and edit something, I don't actually, if I give them editing privileges, then all of a sudden students start putting their own names on this and it no longer becomes a sample resume. It's now something that's out there for the entire world to go through and see, which is not something that I particularly want to go through and do. Over here, going back over here, another one you can also do to completion of 150 semester units. So this is where I have students go through and basically make up. This is a sheet you can go through and download. You can go back through and email me, and I'm more than willing to evaluate your requirements as have you met the California requirements to sit or to become licensed, to become a California CPA, something I go through and help out students with constantly. So again, this is a great thing. Over here, I'm going to share this document. I'm going to give editors change permission and share it because I kind of shared it with myself. Viewers and commenters can see the option to download, print, and copy. So this is really where it's something where anybody with the link is basically a viewer. They can't comment. They can just basically go through and download it. Remember, if I create a Google Doc and I want to share it with people, I just put copy link, put that in, and then I just basically paste it onto the sheet or wherever I want to go. And that's how we go through and use, that's how I go through and use the sharing function on Google Sheets. Remember, is it perfect? No, but the one thing I will say, I think more than anything else, is that I've had a lot of issues with Microsoft Teams. I've had issues with, and because I reach out to a lot of students, I'm trying to basically help them become CPAs. To me, Google Docs and Sheets really works well because I'm not dealing with hypersensitive information. They just list out their classes, the number of units. I never ask a student for a grade that they received in the course. And so we're sharing it on the web, and it makes it a very, very good tool in terms of going through and sharing about, what do I need to do? How can you help me? So if you're really looking for a good collaborative document that has very basic features, this is one. Also, too, just note, I tried adding somebody I know from PricewaterhouseCoopers to one of the documents. What was very interesting is when I put in their PwC email address, I was immediately rejected, right? So just remember that if you're sharing specifically to people, they may have something in their system that prevents them from basically going through and accepting it. But in terms of general web publishing, I can't think of anything that's better than going through and, going through and doing that. So please, thank you for being here today. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any feedback, you can send it to any one of my email addresses that you can find on my videos, or you can leave a comment below. And I want to thank you again for joining me here today. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon.